I definitely agree with you there. So that's our favorite picks. So now let's jump into our least favorite NFL draft picks. For me, it was Jamar Gibbs going to Detroit. I just you already. I honestly, I think Swift. Did they trade it away after this? I felt like he brings the same value that Gibbs does. I know you want to get maybe a cheaper pick. I don't know, but I just didn't feel like you needed to go running back here. You need defense. That team, struggled a bit on defense last year, and I felt like the offense was one of the more brighter spots, but the defense they give a lot of points that they should have. So I felt they could have went after and got a really good talent there at defense, like a Christian Gonzalez there. I mean, I think they could have went and got him and plug and played him there. But I don't know. I just felt like they reached for a player that they didn't even reach for. Like they probably could have got another running back later that was just as good, if not better, than Jamar Gibbs, in my opinion. For me, I love Gibbs coming out of high school, very physical back. Felt like he was going to do a lot of great things in college football. Obviously, got stuck in Georgia Tech when they go for some transitions. Went to Alabama, had an okay season. I thought he was going to win the Heisman. I thought he was going to go in there and just dominate, but I just never saw that side of him come out. And maybe that was an offensive line issue that Alabama had or something else. But I just never was blown away by him in college, and I feel like he just does not take the most. He doesn't get the most out of his ability. So maybe that will change in Detroit, and I'll eat my words there. But that was my least favorite pick. So, you, Jess, who was your least favorite pick, sir?
So, I mean, the Jets have decided to continue the tradition of not drafting a first-round wide receiver or just really receiving threat for Aaron Rodgers. I thought that the pick of Will McDonald IV was a bit of a panic move after the Steelers jumped them for Broderick Jones, the last first-round offensive tackle. Yeah. And it took them all the way down to the wire. I know there's been a lot of speculation that's come out. People said that they were calling up. They're trying to trade back. They're trying to get more draft capital because their guy was now gone. They didn't really have anything else. And it just felt they were like, Will McDonald. And they kind of just, maybe they threw a name at their first round grade board and just, he was a guy that I saw a lot of people having at the very back of round 1, 2, like the Kansas City Chiefs or the Eagles with their second pick, or early round 2, and it just felt like a reach. No. Not as bad as drafting running back at 12, but
yeah, no, for sure. If his name's not John Robinson, he should be drafted and running back in the first round, period. Honest, my opinion. So I feel like you picked the Jets though, because it's probably like a rivalry there with the Giants.
Actually, no, I do not live. I know it's not exactly like the Yankees and the Mets, where it's like, what part of New York do you live on? If the Giants were to like move out of New York, New Jersey, and become the North Dakota Giants or something, I'd end up cheering for the Jets. They're my second team, but I'm much more of a Giants fan than I am a Jets fan. But
all right. I'll take your word. Well, I guess.
Tony's wrong as a kid.
And if you're not watching the video on YouTube, Jess does have a Giants helmet in this background, and you'll be able to see it. So, yeah, just FYI.
We're sorry for that eyesore, folks.
Please, okay.
If you need to put like a sticky note on Jess during the video, that is totally
the only fine. One of us that has the right to talk any smack is Jordan, because he's a Chiefs fan. Like, your team's worse than mine, Tony. I don't want to hear you talk.
All right.
We'll be talking about this after the podcast. We'll definitely be having a conversation in the office. We'll move on to Jordan here with your least favorite pick, sir. Like, which anybody stand out to you? Are you going to be picking on the Lions as well?
I'm going to pick on the Lions just because when they drafted Sam Laporta as a tight end, right after that, the Raiders were like, okay, and then they picked Michael Mayer. So
that was ridiculous. I'm sorry.
I don't see how you would pick. I mean, third or fourth best tight end in this draft, and that's a big third or fourth, because once you go down from the first two, it kind of is a jumbled mess in my eyes. 3 or 4 could intertwine, so I don't know how you not pick Michael Mayer when he was still there for that pick if you were going for a tight end. I just don't see why I also don't see why the Lions, like Tony said, drafted Gibbs when they had the 6th pick and they could have drafted Bijan Robinson.
I guess I'm confused on their whole draft strategy there at the first couple of rounds. Like, why aren't they going after elite defensive talent? Like, do they feel confident they're picking that up in the free agency? I don't know. I don't know. I don't follow. I mean, being in Cleveland, I hear a little bit about Detroit, but I don't follow them, religiously what they're doing in the offseason. But that is feel like they're just stretching. They're overthinking themselves. I feel like
living here in Detroit, everyone is starting to come around to the Gibbs being drafted 12th. Just so you know.
Yeah, of course they are.
I mean,
everybody. I've talked myself into the Bears having a good first round pick. So, and maybe that's true, but we all as fans, it's through the change management. You go from the denial phase until like, okay, this is great at the end. Whatever you're gonna do as a fan to keep yourself going.
I will say this for the Gibbs pick. I know a lot of scouts and draft profilers had him as the clear second option, but most said if a guy like Bijan wasn't in this draft class, he would have been the number 1 overall running back, probably easily. But we know Jared Goff, his best year, Todd Gurley, offensive player of the year, a stout defense, there's one way you can win with Goff, and it feels like the Lions are trying to build that up. I still think they probably could have gone like Gonzalez with their first pick. Then they could have taken the defensive tackle, with Kalijah Kancey with their second. And then they had 2 second-round picks. They could have traded back up if they really wanted Gibbs. But, I mean, hey, we're not in these rooms. We're not scouts for a reason. What do we know?
I do know quite a bit, Jess. No, I just like with Gibbs, like I said before, I just felt like, man, he could have done a lot more. He seemed like he had very similar numbers. I mean, he had a little higher numbers at Alabama, but similar numbers to what he had at Georgia Tech, and he had more elite talent around him. And so, to me, that tells me he's just not getting the most out of his talent. And so, like I said, maybe that'll change with the Lions, but I just feel like there's some
They
opportunities.
do have a very good offensive line.
Yeah, so I still think they should go after defense, but again,
Oh, yeah.
what do we know? And this is a college football podcast. We definitely don't know. I mean, personally, I'm not studying the landscape of each of these teams and understanding what they definitely need and what they definitely don't. So I'll be sure to be wrong on this one.